Easy on there, Thomas. You keep thrashing yourself like this and you'll... Burst a valve. Oh, bother! Of all the times for this to happen, now what? I could run back and ask Gordon to give us a push. Oh, he'll love that. Never mind. Eric! Bless my smokebox, you're here. Thomas, what's wrong? I've got a woman who's in labour on board my train and I've burst a valve. I need you to take me to Elsbridge where an ambulance will be waiting. Eric, did you hear what I said? I'm sorry, Thomas, but I can't. What do you mean can't? I have to pick up a goods train at Carlton. So? It's a real important train, Thomas, and if I don't pick it up, Mr. Starr's going to sack me. Eric, do you hear yourself? Did you hear me? There's a woman on my train who's about to have a baby and I can't blooming move. You're right, Thomas. This is an emergency. If Mr. Starr has a problem with that, then I don't want to work for him. Good on you, mate. Now, can you give me a pull? No worries. Be right back.
You know what? This scenery is boring. It could be better. Perfect. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Custom Showcase. As you can see, I am now recording at this desk, which is going to be the spot I'm recording all of my custom showcases moving forward. Today, we're going to be looking at a relatively standard model. If you watch a certain YouTuber, you might know who he is. But if you don't, I'm sure you can find some good in him. Today, we'll be looking at Eric. Let's get started. Before we get into the model, let's talk about this model's history, because it actually has quite a bit of history to it. Now, first of all, this model is made from a 2010 Mattel Belle. And for a long time, I wanted to have a model of the Stories of Sodor character named Eric. And this was the closest model I had to the character. So I decided to just roll with it. Now, at the time, I wasn't really experienced with model making, so much so that I never really used paint. So what did I use? I used decals, like not even decals, like I just grabbed pieces of paper, drew on the details, and then glued them to the model. Which obviously wasn't the ideal customizing method. The model turned out pretty bad. I didn't really finish it at all, even. It still had, like, the new model still has a paper face, which is the only carryover from the original test model. So that model got scrapped and just ended up being in a bin for a long time. Until one day I got inspired to do the model again. Now, being experienced with using paint, I decided to go ahead and actually make the model. So, I went downstairs, painted the model, gave it all the details it needed. And now we're here today, and this is the Eric model. So now let's get into the model itself. Eric is made from a 2010 Mattel Belle, which isn't the closest match to how Eric is depicted in the Stories of Sodor series, but it was the closest thing I had. Eric has all the features that the trains model does. The face is hand-drawn by myself. I'd say I did a pretty good job. The buffers are the same ones as Belle's, which are inaccurately ovals instead of circles. Gray running board, as I didn't have any black paint. And the lime green paint job with red lining. There are these little holes at the top. These were where Belle's water cannons originally were, but I cut them off so that way I could, make Eric because Eric does not have water cannons. The number 12 decal was drawn by myself once again. There's nothing much on the back. And I just colored in the cab door. And that's really it. That's all I really have to say for Eric. So I guess we'll just call it there. I know this was a very short video, but, you know, there are those models you don't really have a lot to say about. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. It seriously helps me out a ton. And I will see you guys later. Deuces.